Greetings, all you ponderers of the perplexing out there, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye, where we're uncovering the conspiracy fact the government doesn't want you to know about. I'm your host, Alexander Sorkin, and this week we were contacted by a couple of time-traveling musicians from the year 2077. They've journeyed back to our humble year of 2021 with glimpses of the future and a dire warning for us all. But without further ado, here is Elton Upbeat and Metro Kit of Chairman. Why don't you begin by telling us what brings you to the year 2021?
We're musicians in the future, but things look a lot different there, you know? It's like just, you can't play shows in the same way. Like, it's more like all sort of online types of things, so you can't really interact in the same way. So we came back to start like an old-fashioned rock band at the decline of rock and roll to see if we could change that outcome, you know? Also, as you can tell, like, this is a historic time where society is screeching to a halt because of the pandemic, and you know, that's something we wanted to see.
Yeah, in person for sure.
Now let me get this straight. 2021 is the decline of rock and roll.
Well, yeah, haven't you noticed?
Oh, I've definitely noticed, but you're saying it gets worse from here?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not if we have anything to say about it.
And how exactly did you travel to 2021?
Through like psychedelic time travel, we had access to like a futuristic psychedelic, and we were able to trip so hard that we left our own bodies and entered the bodies of our ancestors in this time frame.
Then these aren't your real bodies, but the bodies of your ancestors.
Yeah, exactly. So we basically had to sort of assume their lives, you know, while sort of carrying out our rock and roll dreams.
So what can you tell us about 2077, and what it holds for the future of the human race?
Well, you have a lot less personal liberty, right? There's extreme weather conditions.
Extreme politics.
Ultimately, you're seeing the seeds of it now, where you're trading security for your own personal liberties. So you just got to escalate that by a number of decades, and you kind of maybe get an idea where living outside of the securities that certain organizations offer becomes like a really difficult proposition. Your quality of life would be quite low, but in exchange you have to really go with the flow to get by.
Is there anything we can do to prevent the future that you come from?
I gotta be careful kind of on what I say, but I think it's certainly respecting the environment, because it is quite fragile and it's not something that will always be in as good a shape as
That's
it is
something,
today.
yeah, we can definitely say for sure, and it needs a bit more of a kick in the butt for sure, but that's kind of already goes to say what's already everyone's saying it, but we mean it.
And hyper-partisanship is like a really dangerous ideology, you know. Ultimately, politicians now and in the future are not really on your side, and you're just average person in your community. You have a lot more in common with than any politicians that seek to represent you. So I think bear that in mind, because that rift only grows, you know, and that's used to justify a lot of disturbing behavior.
Very disturbing.
And do you plan on returning to the year 2077 at some point?
Well, we're kind of no, we're like pretty much stuck, you know.
Yeah.
And I don't see it changing much at all. And you know what? I'm kind of enjoying myself, really.
I think that this is a one-way trip. Like, we don't have, both literally and metaphorically, because we don't have the futuristic psychedelics in order to return to our time.
Yeah.
They haven't been invented yet. We knew what we were signing up for, and the future is not all it's cracked up to be, you know?
As we were expressing earlier, it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah. Banned from the future to live in the past. You should live for right now, because the good times won't last.
That's heavy, man. I dig it. But do you have any final parting words for the people of 2021?
We're looking forward to when this is all done. We've heard historically, I remember in history class, they said that people had never partied as hard as they did once the pandemic was officially ended. So we're just hoping to survive to see that day, and we have new
We're
music.
gonna bring it.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it, folks. Words and a warning from the future. Seems like we are in dire straits indeed, unless we correct course. But at least we have that post-pandemic roaring 20s to look forward to. And if you're looking to embrace rock and roll and help Chairman make their way through 2021 and beyond, make sure to check out their new demo coming out this spring. That's all the time we have for this week. Here's hoping we can change the course of humanity. And remember, there's more than meets the eye.